Hello lovelies, and welcome to tonight's video. I'm so glad you came by. My name's Alya, and today we're going to be doing a really fun next installment of this tickle tutorial series through the decades. So I've got here a little collage, doing a very special one tonight. I'm comparing the 60s to the 20s, and you might think, oh my goodness, why would you do that? They're so different. And yes, of course the eras are very different things were going on around the world at the time. But one thing that they did have in common is their headscarves. I found quite a few images that did overlap between the 60s and the 20s. So I thought, why not celebrate that? And let's do a little 60s and 20s. Hope you're able to stick around and watch and enjoy. Well, let's start with the obvious, with my little Red Riding Hood situation that's going on here. Now, this was a really popular style in especially the 60s. You would expect to see a really cute little bustier or little sort of open kind of situation in the clothing, and then a really tight wrap around the neck and head, but with a lot of exposure. So my issue with this is it's probably not the best for coverage for a lot of people, because you can, especially as your head moves, there is a lot of exposure. I don't mind this. I quite often wear my scarves far back, so that's fine. But what I've done is I've actually just taken a little bobby pin like this and just opened it up like that. And I've actually found the edge of the fabric, which is folded under here, just in here, and I've come in this way and just run it through my hair and through the inside of the scarf, so it won't lift up further than it needs to. Ideally, you could do it all the way around, or you could even tuck the inside of the fabric into a non-slip headband and have it stick down that way for coverage purposes. But this was often done with a silk scarf like what I have, or sometimes like a chiffon, so something very thin and flowy for a summer look, just to keep the hair all under control. The other really fun main thing that I've noticed is that the hair is either completely flat or it's huge. So I've got a really big high bun going on today to show you some of the huge looks, and then we'll go back and do some of the flatter looks. So I hope you try this one. It's really cute, especially for those of you who are in summer. Currently we're absolutely freezing. It's about 6 degrees right now in Melbourne, centigrade. So yeah, this is not the look for now, but in summertime, cannot wait. Another really common one was the, just a regular square scarf. But what I would do to wear it like they did then is just fold it under through the front, and then you can get the typical sort of this kind of thing. Again, open was a very big deal. Or if you're going to close it, you have to sort of keep it loose through the top. So whether you have a nice big fringe or something like that, and then you'll do something really cute here, like a little bow, something like that, and sort of have it, add to your outfit down the bottom. For 2020, this sort of thing looks like, an 80-year-old grandma's wearing it, but there's definitely a lot of images of women with big hair underneath and beautiful fringes and things like that. And then you've got the loose sort of look as well. All very 60s, very cute, but then also quite commonly seen in the 20s too. But all of them do have this big fringe situation happening at the front. So that's something to consider as well. That's a look that you would go for. Again, I would definitely tuck it away and maybe use a non-slip headband to hold it down in a position that is more comfortable for covering. But while we've got this big square scarf, I'll show you a look that really is rather cute that they've got in both eras quite commonly. And that is to sort of take this here. I may just take a bobby pin though, just at least to tie down. I've still got the fabric turned under. Just pinning it to the front. You find either one of your tails on your big square scarf and you tie it at the back. Now keep in mind all my hair's up the top there, so there's nothing at the back really to hold it. I do not have a non-slip headband on. I don't have any shapers on, anything like that. Now in these images, it actually shows you sort of tie it off at the back. So this is how we're going to do. So you take this remaining thing and you kind of create like a flower with it. So we're going to tie it off. And you're going to take all the sections that are hanging out, and you're going to make like a little bow like that, and then just spreading it out. And then when you're done, you can let go of this pin because you can stop manipulating it. And if it's a really slippery fabric and you don't have a non-slip headband, you just pin the sides there where it's less visible. Got this really cute look. So very, very loose through the back, very, very tall through the top, and non-slip headband, or just pin it to the sides. Now for this next beautiful 20s look, I'm going to take this shaper. I assume there was some sort of a hat construction underneath to create this particular kind of look, but I'm going to use this as my little shaper. You can use any shaper whatsoever that you feel comfortable with. Okay, so I've just taken this scarf here, quite unevenly, probably 2/3 on one side, 1/3 on the other. This is going to be my tail that comes from back here. And I've just left this exposed to show you guys where this shape is sitting. So we want to actually bring this down using the very edge, sort of here. Again, if you have a fringe, this is where you might want to show it, you might not, depending on what you're wearing a scarf for. Okay, so once you've got your edge forward, I would just fold it under slightly, just so it's not so blunt, and then we're going to take it all together. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is tie a little knot just over here. The next thing you want to do is arrange your scarf so that it's sitting exactly how you want it. So I really want this white line to be the base of my sort of hat portion. And then find your longer tail. And then what I'm going to do is actually wrap this around in as wide of an arrangement as I can manage at the base of that little hat portion. And then feeding it back through. Once again, just arranging it, because this is such a loud pattern, I really want it to be sitting well. And I think with this design, it's going to be a little bit tricky because it's so flat at the front. Like, I don't think it would suit me to wear it exactly so square like she has it in the photo, in the pink scarf there. So instead, I'm just going to keep it a little bit more high up on the brow, but you could definitely have it more gypsy sort of style like she has down here. But I'm just going to keep it up at my hairline. Once again, loud pattern, so I want it to sit absolutely perfectly. There we go. And you've got this really, really sort of hat-styled, very bohemian kind of thing going on. So next we're going to do something a little bit risky. I'm just going to twist this whole contraption, so I'm going to get my thumbs under there and twist the whole thing. So if I did a good job, it should be pretty much symmetrical no matter where I turn it, until these little tails are almost in the middle. Yep, about there. So let's just fix it up again. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try and tuck this longer tail up so that it loops. Okay, and then you've got this sort of look here, where you've got a beautiful loop happening at the back. Again, we're just looking at loud patterns, looking at this sort of hat or squared off design, and really, really blunt edges. Very, very cute. One option, you can also bring it down, make it very, very 20s to the brow line. Or the opposite, try and expose a little bit more of the hairline. To do this though, you would want some sort of a 20s kind of style hairdo. You don't want to slick back. Again, it just depends if you can or can't carry this sort of look, depending on your belief system. I've just folded this scarf in half and placed it a little bit further back on my head, completely flat. My hair's all down at the back and a little bit exposed actually, because this is only folded halfway. So I'm just crossing over once, taking an absolutely flat as I can fold of the fabric and bringing it over exactly where the first layer was. Okay, this time I'm letting it drop a little bit, so it's going to cover the back of my hair. Then the second folded part of the scarf is going to come around and actually hold the first one in place. So what you end up with is a completely flat sort of look. Just bring it forward a bit. Completely flat look, and you only have a little bit of decoration, a little bit of design through the very back of the bun. And in my case, I've got tassels, so that's showing too. You do have quite a bit of exposure again on this look, but it's so pretty. And you can easily use a non-slip headband or a shaper, just perhaps placing it upside down so you have more bulk at the bottom rather than the top, and you'll get that grippiness through the top here in order to stop the tickle from moving. I've just used some bobby pins to hold it in place. Something like this is such a light fabric and such a summery look. I think that it would be more practical than having so many layers, but absolutely can be adapted to anybody's preference. So you'll see in a minute how it's sort of a bit saggy, or it's got a cute little sort of bag look at the back, whereas it's completely flat at the top. Now this is definitely more 20s, and I think that the biggest difference between the 20s and the 60s pictures was a pair of big sunnies. Another look really popular in pretty much throughout the whole 20th century is placing a smaller square scarf folded into a triangle just at the nape of the neck. So I've got a bit of a bun going on just in the middle of the back there. I'm just going to tie it off right in the middle. Okay, I'm going to take these two long tails and tie them at the back at the bottom. Okay. Once you've tied that off, take this remaining triangle bit that's sticking out and create like a sort of fringe with it. Give it a twist and tuck it away. Now there's a few options what you can now do with these tails. You can tie them up high against your bun or shaper. Okay, I love this look because it exposes more of the colours and patterns on the scarf. Or you could leave them down low. Okay, and then just tuck away the excess. The other thing you can have an option of doing is opening them out like that and flipping them over. And creating a lot more height. But for this look you probably need pins, or if you don't want to use pins you could just tie them through the back like so. Just find the edges, cross them over and tuck them. Taste, and for my lifestyle I would probably need to pin them. I love this sort of hidden look, it's got a lot more volume, but I'm just going to take a pin and make sure that that's not going anywhere. Alright my lovelies, I hope you really enjoyed today's 60s to 20s little excursion through the era. I was just absolutely blown away with how much the fashion had come around from the 20s back into the 60s and clearly influenced it quite heavily. There's definitely a lot of images of big sunglasses through the 60s, whether they're just celebrating the idea of freedom and travel and just that living in paradise kind of idea. But I'm absolutely loving the style of sunglasses in the 60s as well. It's just beautiful. Okay guys, I hope that wherever you are around the world you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're staying safe. I hope that you have a moment to subscribe, hitting that big red button just there. If it's red, it's doing the wrong thing. Make sure that you turn it grey immediately. For more stuff that's going on, please head over to Instagram, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next one. Bye!